buddy?
How you doing?
Pretty good. Congrats on the new record.
Thank you. I'm so excited. This was 2.5 years in the making. I wrote every song on there with my wife. We made it at our house, at my recording studio at home. So this is truly like from our family to everybody.
So why does this take 2.5 years?
Because I can't help but fiddle.
Yeah.
And I just wanted it to be absolutely perfect. And I wanted to make an album that you could put on in front to back. It was just good vibes. The kind of album you put on when you're hanging out with your friends on your deck or you're out by some water or something and you just want to set the good time, no pun intended, mood, you know?
You know, I was listening to the record and then I looked at track 14 and not to contradict what you said, but I guess 13 of the songs you wrote.
Yeah, there's one on there.
There's one you didn't write, but it's like the greatest good time song of 90s country, which is Travis Tritt, Great Day to Be Alive.
Yeah.
So why did you choose this song to put on the record?
I'm calling it my inspiration track, and it's a tradition. I'm starting with my first album. I'm going to do it with every album that I make, where I'm going to have one song on there that's an artist and a song that really inspired me to fall in love with music, to want to do music. And Travis lives about 15 minutes from where I grew up. So as a kid, you know, I'd see him around town sometimes. He was someone that was from where I was from that did it and made it. So he made the dream real. And this is by far my favorite Travis Tritt song. Daryl Scott wrote it. I'm a big Daryl Scott fan. And every time I hear it, it just puts me in a good mood. So I thought it was perfect for the album.
Do you play that live at all?
Oh, yeah. And I didn't want to make it like a carbon copy of what he did because he did it his way and he killed it. I wanted to like pay homage to him, but also do it my way, you know, and reimagine it.
You mentioned that you and your wife wrote all these songs together. And, you know, she's an artist and a songwriter as well. But you originally met her on social media, right? Like and said, hey, come. Is that true? You come to a show? Is that how you guys met?
We met on Facebook.
Okay. I didn't want to say Facebook because, you know, who knows?
She friended me, and then I slid on the DMs and invited her out. I was playing bars at the time, and I invited her out to a show to watch me play. She came to the show. I thought we was going to hang out after I play, you know, go sit at the bar and get to know each other. She came up to me and was like, hey, great show. Give me a call sometime. You can take me out on a real date. We'll see you later.
And then she left?
I was like, okay.
How long until you knew she was the one?
Pretty much immediately.
Why?
Yeah, it was really quick because the way we got on with each other was so natural. I didn't feel like there was that normal kind of, you gotta be you're the best version of yourself, and then slowly they get to know the real you. I felt like I was just being my authentic self from the beginning with her. And we laughed like the whole time, constantly. And to me, that's my favorite part about us. And I feel like what kind of is what gets us through, you know, all this time we've been together. We've been together almost 10 years. It's just the fact that we keep it light and we laugh a lot.
Wow, so you were on the early end of sliding into DMs because that was not a thing 10 years ago.
To be fair, she friended him first. So it wasn't so much of a slide. It was kind of a response to her going,
exactly.
Hello.
Yeah.
So I want to give Niko, I don't want Niko to be the big slider here. It was kind of equal here. Let me ask you this. Yeah, you put the record out. You have the new single, which is Paradise to Me. Like, would you play a little bit of that for us?
Yeah, you got it.
All right, so Niko Moon has a record. You're going to hear him play today. And you're going to think, I sure would like to hear some more from this guy. So go check out his album that he just put out this past Friday called Good Time. You know him, you love him, Niko Moon. You probably know this song, Good Time, which was a #1 for Niko.
Just trying to catch a good time.
That I can't stop singing. And I wasn't meaning to be insulting during the break there, but this song played on the way out of commercial, and I was like, great, now I'll never be able to stop singing it. That's a catchy song, man.
Thank you.
Have you been able to play it out, like big show yet? Like, you done the Lady A stuff yet?
Yeah, so I'm about a month into the Lady A tour.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing because when it came out, you know, is when live music stopped. Literally, like the week it came out was when live music stopped. So my first experiences playing Good Time for Everybody has just been over the past month, and it's been amazing.
Pretty cool to hear them all sing it back.
Yeah, I get chills every time.
I want to play from Niko's new record, a little clip of a song I really like. It's track 5. It's called Dance With Me. First of all, I love a sappy song. I love a sad song. I love a sappy song. I love that. I love that there's like, you know, your electric drums. There's also like a steel guitar in there, which is pretty much personifies you as an artist. You grew up in Georgia. You have all these country music influences around you, but you're right down the road from Atlanta, so you get a lot of that. I feel like that's in that song, like all of that. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong.
You're right.
I'm right. I knew it. I love being right. That song, you wrote that with your wife, and you wrote that with Josh Murdy.
Yep.
When you go to write that song and you sit in a room, did somebody have the idea on their phone, like, okay, I've been thinking about the song Dance With Me? Like, how does that happen?
Yeah, usually the way I like to write is it all starts with the idea. To me, the idea is really half the song. Once you get the idea, you're 50% there. All you got to do is write it now, you know? And then once the idea is there, then you start kind of fiddling around with a chord progression that feels like the idea. And so we were talking about how with that song, love a lot of times can be like gambling, where there comes a point where you got to go all in, lay your cards on the table and say, hey, I like you. What do you think? And it can be nerve-wracking, you know? So that's why the metaphor of the gambling and everything is in there. You know, come on, take a chance with me, you know? I may not be a gambling man, but tonight I'm liking my odds, you know, all those little lines in the song. And so, yeah, you start with the music, and then once you get the music there, then you go with, I like to go with humming melodies that also feels like the idea, because everything, the music, the melody, the lyric, they all have to feel like the idea, or else the song will sound confused. And then last is lyrics.
Last is lyrics. Wow.
Last is lyrics.
That might be my favorite song on the record.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Because I just like all of that together. Like you'd almost say the juxtaposition of everything beside each other, but they're together, of like the steel, but then the
yeah,
you know, the vibe.
Well, you know, pedal steel is probably the most country. Maybe it's vying with the banjo for like the most country sounding instrument you can think of. You know, so that up against the 808s, I think, you know, creates a really cool sound.
You guys check out his record. It is called Good Time. You know, you're such a prolific songwriter, and I have some other songs that you wrote. If you don't mind, I'd like to maybe tinker around for a little bit for us here.
Let's do it.
You have your guitar. You co-wrote Dierks Bentley Gone, which went #1. And so, do you write that for you, or do you write that with people going, let's see who likes it?
When I start to write, I always have in mind whether or not I'm writing for myself or not. So for that one, it was definitely, we were actually thinking of Dierks when we wrote that.
And so when Dierks actually likes it, are you like, oh, we still get it? Like, we're in the game still.
Yeah. Every time I write a song that you know, that does well, I'm always nervous. I'm like, was that the last good one I'm ever going to write? You know? And then, you know, someone like Dierks comes along and gets the song. You're like, I still got it.
Your voice is so distinct. What's the warm-up? You're about to go on stage in 20 minutes. They're like, Niko, you're to the stage, 20 minutes. What are you doing in the room right then?
Man, I feel like I'm always on the verge of going hoarse at all times, just because I got a naturally really scratchy voice. So I got to like super take care of it. So I'll like steam my voice. I got this little handheld steamer that I'll use for like 10 minutes just to like get my vocal cords nice and hydrated. Drink a lot of water during the day. I probably drink a gallon of water throughout the day. And then before I go on, I do this thing called the straw technique, which is you take like a coffee straw, a really small straw, and you do your vocal warm-ups like you would normally do, like, like, you know, you've heard people do vocal warm-ups, but you do it through a straw, and it pushes the air back into your throat and relaxes your throat and makes warming up a lot easier. So that's a little trick of the trade.
Is it true that you eat Lay's chips to help your voice, though?
That's another trick of the trade.
But why?
So I like that trick better. That'd be more down my alley. Yeah.
Because the grease in the potato chips coats your throat and makes it easier. You know, because you want a little coating there. So a lot of times in the studio, if my voice is feeling a little too scratchy, you know, don't get the Pringles. You know, don't get the baked Lays. You got to get the old school greasy ones. You know.
Eddie and I were talking last weekend. We were playing the New York State Fair, and we were talking about you. We both just think you're such a great songwriter and artist. But we were talking about you, and when you play Homegrown, which you're one of the writers of, Zach Brown made that a massive song. Like, we love your version of it. And we were just like, man, when Niko plays Homegrown, it feels like a different song even though it's the same song. Because it's just, I mean, it's Niko'd, right? When you when you wrote it, because I'd like for you to play.
We got to trademark that.
Yeah, boom, that you've been Niko. Does the work tape sound like your version?
Yeah. It was originally written that way, and then I brought it to Zach. I wrote it about my hometown, and I brought it to Zach, and he loved it. And it didn't have a bridge though, because he's so good at writing bridges. So I brought him the song. I had the verses in the chorus, and then he thought up that amazing bridge. It's the way that you carry from the things you think you won't, which is such a great thought. And then when he got in the studio with the band, they started amping it up. Just, you want to try throw paint on the wall and just try different ways of doing it and see which way works the best. And when they amped it up and really rocked it out, it just sounded really cool. So they went with their gut, and I'm glad they did. I think it sounds awesome.
Yeah, their version sounds awesome. We like your version too. I like what you're doing. Yeah, it's all good. We're super pumped you came in. I hope our audience here goes and checks out Good Time, the record. They may know Good Time, the single already, but it's 14 tracks, and that 14th track is a cover of Travis Tritt, Great Day to Be Alive, which I thought was a really cool little song to put on there because we love that song. Your version's fine, but like the real song, your version's good. I'm just giving you a hard time.
You can't hear it without being happy. You hear Travis sing that song, and it's just like, man, everything's gonna be all right.
You text me from Little Rock, Arkansas, where I'm from. You said, "Where do I eat?" That's a hard question. When someone goes, "I'm in a city, where do I go?" So I sent you to Hideaway Pizza, which is an Oklahoma pizza place, and
fantastic,
right? That's right.
Wait for it.
Anytime we're in Oklahoma or Little Rock, we go over there too. So, hey, great to see you.
Great to see you too.
Just a good dude. So happy the album's out because it's really good. I hope our listeners check it out, and you'll keep doing what you're doing. People love having you around. You walk in the room, everybody gets happier.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the goal right there. Life is short.
Niko Moon, follow him at Niko Moon on Instagram. Check out Good Time, the record, and his new song is Paradise to Me, and we'll come back.
This is a Bobby Bones show.